Hello. Today I want to talk about a real serious topic and one that comes up often with my clients in life coaching. And that's the devastating ripple of affairs in relationships. An affair is more than a betrayal. It's a wound that cuts deep into the fabric of trust, love, and the very foundation of a relationship. But what seemed like an unshakable bond with so much hope suddenly feels fragile, its strength shattered by lies, secrecy, and unmet needs. At first, it may seem like a momentary lapse, a fleeting choice, a mistake made in the heat of the moment. But the ripple effects are far reaching, touching every corner of a relationship and leaving behind a trail of heartbreak. The partner who is betrayed often feels like they've lost part of themselves. They've been stripped of their security, their self-worth, their peace of mind. Trust that was once given freely is now something that has to be rebuilt if it can ever be regained at all. But the reality of why an affair happens often complicates the emotional aftermath. The reasons are very rarely simple. They are layered with personal insecurities, unmet needs, a breakdown in communication, or a deep sense of loneliness that neither partner recognized until it was too late. Sometimes the affair is not about the person with whom the betrayal occurs. It's a reflection of the person who made the choice, lost within themselves, searching for something they felt was missing. They may have been longing for validation, attention, or excitement, seeking solace from an emptiness they didn't know how to address in their own relationship. In many cases, it's not about the love or passion for the partner that's been betrayed. It's about the unraveling of something deeper, something internal. It could stem from feelings of being neglected, underappreciated, or misunderstood. It may be that the person involved in the affair never learned how to communicate their needs effectively, or perhaps they could never find a way to bridge the gap that had slowly formed between them and their partner. They may have been too afraid to confront the growing dissatisfaction, and instead of working through it, they sought temporary comfort through someone else. Sometimes affairs also arise from the fear of being vulnerable, fear of truly confronting the messy, complex emotions within a relationship. It's easier perhaps to escape the illusion of newness and excitement rather than face the uncomfortable realities of the relationship they have at home. But in the end, it's this very escape that deepens the wound because it's never just about one night, one person, or one mistake. It's the culmination of neglected emotional intimacy, the absence of real connection, or a failure to work together to meet the needs of others. But the person who was betrayed also often doesn't see the red flags. They didn't notice the small shifts in behavior, the quiet changes that hinted that something was wrong, the late nights, the unexplained absences, the sudden emotional distance that wasn't immediately acknowledged. They may have felt the discomfort, but dismissed it, believing the strength of their love, hoping that things would get better on their own. Perhaps it was the lack of communication, the way conversations become surface level, or the growing tendency to avoid discussing feelings, needs, or concerns. There were moments when the partner seemed distracted or preoccupied, when small details didn't quite add up. But it was easier to overlook them than to face the possibility of something far darker lurking beneath. The smallest of gestures, an unexplained defensiveness when questioned, a sudden change of routine, or the way a partner becomes more secretive with their phone or social media, often go unnoticed or unaddressed. The partner may have felt the subtle, aching silence between them, the emotional gap that was slowly widening. But without clear evidence, it can be easy to convince oneself that everything is just fine, that it's just a phase, or that it's their own insecurities at play. The person who was betrayed often convinces themselves that love and trust are enough to overcome anything, not realizing that trust has been eroding for far longer than they knew. But it's just not about the betrayal of one person, it's the ripple effect that spreads outward. It's the heartbreak felt by the family, the friends, the children who unknowingly watch the quiet unraveling of what they thought was safe and constant. They too suffer in silence, trying to make sense of the fractures that once seemed unbreakable. The pain of infidelity isn't always visible. It doesn't always show in tears or anger. Sometimes it hides in the quiet, in the moments of silence that stretch between two people who no longer know how to speak with their hearts. It's the look of disappointment when you realize that something sacred has been broken beyond repair. It's the lingering questions that haunt your every thought. Was I not enough? What did I do wrong? The heartache is compounded by the uncertainty, by the fear of moving forward, unsure of whether the wounds will ever heal or whether they will always bleed just beneath the surface. Yet, in amidst the heartbreak, some find a way to rebuild. It's a long and painful process, one that requires vulnerability, honesty, and a willingness to face the truth, no matter how hard it is. But not all relationships survive the aftermath of an affair. Some are irrevocably changed, and the love that once defined them can never quite return to the way it was. An affair is a powerful reminder that relationships require more than just love. They require trust, respect, and open communication. It's just not about preventing the hurt, but about protecting the relationship itself from the smallest cracks that can grow into overwhelming chasms. To heal from an affair takes time, courage, and a willingness to look deeply at what went wrong and what both partners need to do to move forward. But it also requires a deep understanding that the scars left behind may never fully disappear and that the road to healing is never a straight line. In the end, an affair may not just change the relationship, it may change the people within it, for better or for worse. And whether they stay together or they part ways, it's a painful chapter that leaves its mark, reminding us that love is fragile, and when we take it for granted, it can be broken beyond repair. If you've experienced the effects of an affair, please go to my website at mammothedge.com and take the life assessment. I would love to hear your experience, and I would like to talk more with you. Thank you.